Welcome back to the channel. This is going to be part 2 on sectioning this rocker panel. And this sectioning procedure is going to be an overlap with an offset. So let me show you how this is going to work. Okay, I'm going to put another section somewhere right in here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to just cut this thing in half. And this part here, I'm going to put about a 1/2 inch offset, relieve these corners, so then the rear half is going to slide over it. This 1/2 inch flange that I'll leave will actually be kind of a backer. The corners will be relief cut to let everything slide together. It's a little more complicated than the butt weld with the backer, but it's still fairly easy to do. So let's get started. I'm going to clean all the E-coat off of it first. Alright, I'm going to scribe a line like I did on the last one, just for a nice straight edge. And I'll use masking tape as a guide, a little easier to see while I'm cutting. Okay, once I've got this cut, now I'm just going to clean up the inside edges, get all the burrs out of it, take some of the E-coat out of there. Next thing I'm going to do is just overlap this, maybe a 1/2 inch. Doesn't have to be precise. But once again, if you're doing this on a vehicle, you have to make sure your overall length is the same. Here, what I'm doing, this rocker panel is getting shorter every time, but it's just a demo. So I'm going to get a couple clamps on here. And I'm going to scribe this. Okay, there's my mark. I'm going to relieve these corners, and I'll show you how that works. We're going to have to cut around here where this double panel is for that inner rocker panel and bend these flanges, and when it's all set up, that'll just slide in there real nice. It'll fit nice and flush. Okay, next, I'm going to put a piece of masking tape so I can see where I want to cut it. A little easier than trying to find that scribe mark. This will have to be removed completely right here. That'll be a little tricky there. Going to relief cut this, so this will be removed. This will be removed here. This will have a cut in it. And I'll do the same thing here. On this first radius, I'll put a relief cut. And then this very bottom lip will have to be removed. And on this top piece where that inner rocker is, I just trimmed that off with a 1/4 inch straight shaft die grinder bit. Come in there and follow that line and cut through there, same as the bottom. And actually I trimmed these off a little bit more, maybe 3/16 of an inch. I didn't need that I didn't need that much on there. I'm gonna go through here. I'm gonna clean this edge up with the file. Actually, years ago, iCar had a sectioning procedure for rear frame rails, and it was doing an offset like this, but all they wanted you to do is just bend that flange down. Maybe 30 degrees, you'd weld your new section right on it. I like using an offset on these, and I've got these, I don't even know, Blair Equipment, Flint, Michigan. I don't know if they're still around or not, but that puts an offset in there. And you want this offset to go back a little bit farther than the line you scribed. And if I remember, I'll put it up somewhere on the screen, but I did a video a while back just on how to make these offsets using this and the hammer and dolly. You should be able to see how that's got an offset to it. So that new piece of sheet metal will lay in there flush with the top here. This will be offset all the way down here, and then it'll be flush and it'll weld actually right to the inner. And that relief cut is there because there's this sharp radius right here, and those one you can't really offset it with that in a way, it'll bind up. So that'll give you a little bit of wiggle room in there. Okay, those vice grips won't fit in here. I'm going to use a hammer and dolly, and I'm going to support this outside edge, and I want to hammer a crease right into here. And then support back behind it and tap it down a little bit. Okay, I'm going to drill some holes, put some sheet metal screws to hold this together, and then we'll start welding. Okay, and as I was saying, while my GoPro shut off on me again, I got my holes all drilled, and I'm going to take this back apart and deburr it, because when you're drilling through here, this bottom panel will actually push down a little bit, and you'll get a little separation, and you'll get burrs in there. So that way I'll take it apart, deburr the back side of this, the top side of that. When you screw it together, it's nice and flat. Okay, it's ready to weld. Take this straight edge, and it doesn't rock on there. You can actually check all your lines. It fits nice and flat on there. So we're ready to go. And doing this overlap, you're going to use a few more screws, and they're going to be right on the edge, and they're kind of in the way. So usually just put a series of tacks. Get your corners, put a tack between the screws, and then remove them, and then finish welding it up. Just to be safe, if you're watching this at home, or if you're looking at your phone as you're driving down the road, make sure you put your welding helmet on. Okay, this one's all welded in. I'll get the grinder, get it cleaned up, see how it looks. Alright, it's welded in good. When you do this type of a sectioning procedure with that offset overlap, you'll usually get an edge right here. It looks like it's not welded. You started the offset back here, you needed room, and it's actually burned in nice and tight right there. You're just seeing that edge of that offset. You could actually fill it in with weld if you wanted to, but there's no point in doing that. Bondo's going to fill it in. It's nice and straight with the straight edge on there. If you can see down in there, very little filler is going to be needed in there. Inside corner looks good, so it'll be real easy to finish that out with Bondo. Okay, that wraps up that sectioning procedure. And this one here is fairly easy. It's a little bit more time consuming to get the parts to fit. It's not as easy as doing the butt weld with the backer. And the next one will just be the butt weld with no backer. That'll be a little bit trickier, but if you like this video, remember, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done it. Thanks for watching.